Together, we as organizations are body and soul committed to the forward progress of this city, particularly in the context of community and economic development. We care deeply about issues like housing and homelessness, real estate development, rateables, parks and open space, and the overall quality of life for the residents of this city. And we know that our mayoral candidates care about these issues as well. And so we are very eager today to hear from them on these issues of great importance to the more than 160,000 residents of the city of Paterson. And so we are very pleased this morning to be able to have 3 of the 4 mayoral candidates with us.
This is why we're here. In the last 8 years, I truly believe that it's time for change. That's the reason why I'm running for mayor. So my background in business, in government, I truly believe I'm the right person to serve as your mayor. Very good.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. Obviously, my name is Mike Jackson. I'm here. I've been a council person here for the last 12 years. I'm a lifelong Paterson resident. I'm a graduate of the high school right next door. Proud to say I'm a Kennedy Knight. I'm a former state championship, the last actual state championship football team that was here in the city. And those years were very good years. And I think the councilman is absolutely correct. Paterson does not have the greatest reputation right now. I think it impacts everyone, not just the residents, but those of you who do come into the city to do business. It's a hindrance on your business as well. And the fact of the matter is, there's just been a lot of poor decisions being made. In fact, the councilman has contributed to some of those poor decisions. He's absolutely correct. We are in need of new leadership, and I believe I'm the only candidate here with a full-fledged plan to help change the direction of Paterson.
Good morning, Paterson. First, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, Oasis, Eva's, St. Paul's, Habitat, and of course, NGCC. You are making Paterson a better city because of the work that you do every day in Paterson. And Paterson is the only home I've ever known. It's where my mother, a single mother, raised me and my brother. It's where my wife and I are raising our 3 children. And Paterson is a work in progress, but we've made progress because we've done work. But there's more work to do and more progress to be made. That's why I'm seeking another term, to continue to partner with all of you so that we can continue to make progress. We have resurfaced over 176 roads, which is unprecedented in this city. We've reduced the number of vacant and abandoned properties by 92%. A lot of you in this room have played a part in helping us drive down that number from when we started, it was 2,000, now it's 200. So let's get to 0 as far as abandoned properties are concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. For our first question, we'll start with Councilman Jackson, followed by Mayor Sayegh and Councilman Mendez. This is a 2-minute question. Many people feel that Paterson is at a critical crossroads and that strong leadership is needed to promote the city's revitalization. Please describe your vision and plan as mayor to make Paterson a comeback city. What skills and experiences make you the best person to create positive change in our city? We'll start with Councilman Jackson, a 2-minute question.
Very good, thank you. But this is an excellent question because yes, Paterson is definitely at a crossroads. In fact, I think we passed the crossroads. We've managed to go in a direction that has been a detriment. This current administration has had more money to spend on revitalizing the community than any other administration. In fact, you can add the Jones, the Torres, and the Barnes administration together, and none of them have had the amount of money that this administration has had. In fact, when the tax credits were introduced, there was an opportunity to actually breathe life into our economy. We have not done that. I have been, more or less collaborating with the administration and playing from the sidelines, giving the advice of the direction we should go into. We dropped the ball majorly when we allowed for this community to lose out on the opportunity of a 12,000-seat arena. You know, other communities are in a similar situations. In Brooklyn, when they put the Barclays Center there, North putting the Prudential Center there, this is a true anchor that would draw traffic into our community very consistently. We dropped the ball in this area. We dropped the ball in many different areas where decisions were made, where we just squandered money that did not return any results to us. No one wanted to see the stadium be built more than I did. I played there. No one else in this room has played there. I have a fond affection towards the stadium, but to spend $110 million in the stadium and not have any reporting, no accountability, how much concrete was poured, how much money was put into it, how much did the developer put in, how much did the developer make. There is no transparency going on here with this administration. It's all about scandal. We're bragging and talking about the roads that we're resurfacing, the parts that we're restructuring, but the community is not seeing any direct impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Jackson is actually right on one item. The amount of money that's coming into the city of Paterson. Because prior to my administration, we didn't have a grant writer. So we hired a grant writer, and here we are $100 million later, yet receiving funding that the city of Paterson missed out on so many years. And relationships are important. I had an excellent relationship with Governor Murphy, I have an excellent relationship with our current governor, bringing in not only state dollars, but federal dollars. And Hinchcliffe Stadium, let's use that as an example, on May 19, 2023, when we finally celebrated the restoration of this community treasure. It wasn't just about a field of dreams, it was about a field of opportunities. And let me tell you about the opportunities. Hinchcliffe residents, not only was the stadium brought back to life, but we built affordable housing for senior citizens. One of those senior citizens, his name is Leon Moses. He not only lives at the Hinchcliffe residence, but he works at Hinchcliffe Stadium. He's the head of security. So he lives where he works. He can walk to work. There's also the story of the Jersey Shore Wave. It's a professional women's tackle football team that came to Hinchcliffe Stadium. 3 of their players live in the city of Paterson. One of them is Marquisha Guthrie, who came through the ranks of NJCDC. And we were also able to lure one of the most famous soccer teams in all sports, the New York Cosmos. Their manager of community relations, Sandra Navarro, she's from the city of Paterson as well. So it's about empowering Pattersonians through opportunities for growth. And the old Libby's, we finally auctioned that off. It's still cafe, and it's owned and operated by Paterson residents. In a few weeks, we'll be cutting the ribbon on 2 very significant projects we've been working on for years. The long-awaited Riverwalk project and Vista Park, which provides a panoramic view of not only our city skyline, but the New York City skyline as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you so very much for the question. My question to the city is straightforward. I'm looking forward to make Paterson a clean and a safe city. A city that works for everybody, a city that everybody could call Paterson home. Right now, the residents of the city of Paterson are struggling. They can't even pay the high rent that we face in the city of Paterson. I will concentrate on economic development, public safety, and a government that works for every person, not for a selected group, because of what we have. And speaking about leadership is extremely important. You just gotta look at the amount of lawsuits that we'll be getting because of this mayor, because of this action. A lawsuit, the 2 previous chief of police that we have, they're suing the city because of the action. Leadership matters, and it's extremely important to have a person that works with everybody. And I don't know out of 3 candidates, I'm the one that can work with any person. I could sit with any person in the room and make things work and make things happen for the betterment of the city of Paterson. So I'm looking forward to have that in place. And in closing, when you're making investment in the city of Paterson, you gotta make sure that those investments work for the majority of the community. That's the reason why not-for-profit, they will be in the front line in my government to work and put the right plan for the city of Paterson. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Our second question will start with Mayor Sayegh and followed by Councilman Mendez and Councilman Jackson. This is a 1-minute question. What do you believe is Paterson's greatest economic asset, and how would you use it to improve economic development in our city? We'll start with Mr. Mayor.
Our greatest asset, our people. And one of the programs I'm very proud of is the Financial Empowerment Center, which is in collaboration with NJCDC. We have so many success stories of Pattersonians, as a result of this program, have been economically empowered. Let me give you the example of Kiersey Baez, a single mom from the Dominican Republic trying to raise 2 children. All she wanted to do was open up a business, but her credit was poor and she was deep in debt. She found out about the Financial Empowerment Center, she improved her credit score, drove down her debt, and now she owns a laundromat on Belmont Avenue. I'll give you another example. James Brown, when he started, his credit score was 300. And now, as a result of Financial Empowerment Center, his credit score is almost 800. And as a result, he was able to start a nonprofit organization in the city of Paterson. Greatest asset, our people, and we're empowering them.
Mayor. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you so very much. One day, Paterson was the first industrial city in the nation. And it was because of our location. We're a few meters away from New York City. We're in the middle of every main highway. What is the reason why we don't have those big corporations in the city of Paterson? I mean, we have a great opportunity to bring a new leadership to clean the city, make the city safe, and go out and partner with those entities to bring those companies to Paterson, to create job opportunity for a resident, real job opportunity for a resident. One of the main reasons why our community is struggling is because this administration, they haven't concentrated on job. And based on the amount of money that they have in this so-called empowerment center, it doesn't reflect the result based on the amount of money. So I'm looking forward to utilize our location, our people, our diversity, the great force to clean the city, make it safe, and go out there and have those corporations come into the city of Paterson to redevelopment in the downtown area. Bring those corporations to create a real job for Paterson residents, and I'm looking forward to do that.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you. Well, the first thing I would like to do is give the mayor a great deal of credit. He is a phenomenal hype man. The stark difference is when you see the results of an action, like for example, the State of the City address for in Newark. Ras Baraka brings all of those people that we're talking about to the stage, and he shows the community, he spotlights them. If you request an open report on all of these success stories, you get nothing. It's all privatized information because there is no success story from it. The fact of the matter is, the gem of our community is our diversity. It's the culture. It's the vast cultures that we have in this community that can draw in traffic, that can really become an engine for our economic foundation. The fact of us losing an opportunity to help revitalize a $100 million investment in the mall by centerpiecing it with a state-of-the-art indoor arena was a major ball drop. That would have been a gem that could draw all of these cultural and diversity activities into the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. For our third question, we'll start with Councilman Mendez. This is a 1-minute question. Other cities like Newark have inclusionary zoning ordinances that require developers to set aside up to 20% of units for affordable housing. Would you be in favor of such an ordinance in Paterson? 1 minute, Councilman Mendez.
Thank you. That's an easy question. The answer is yes. Yes. Definitely affordable housing. It's most needed in our community. That's going to be one of my main focuses. Partnership with non-for-profits into organizations that we have in the city of Paterson to make it happen. The last use law, allow that and it's stipulated on that. One of the things that I'm looking forward to use that with this is also to go back and look into our redevelopment plan to have a vision where it should go. But I'm looking forward to be a strong supporter of affordable housing with this 20%. Thank you.
Not only am I in support of it, but I sponsored the legislation during this mayor's term. In fact, when the armory was sold, there was a provision that was built into the contract that was going to require the developer to make a substantial reinvestment in the School 15 field house. It was never done. It's never been enforced. In fact, there's a lot of things that's taking place in Newark that we can take advantage of, that we can learn from. The mayor of Newark stood on a commitment to support his residents. And he published a list outlining those derelict landlords that's forcing tenants to live in squalor. But here, we get in the way and derail the process of enforcement. We fire those individuals that are holding people accountable in this community. And we go after those who are trying to make sure our residents are being treated fairly. So absolutely, I will be in full support of that. My track record has shown that, and I will continue to move forward with the same commitment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Jackson may not know, but the field house he alluded to was renovated 6 years ago. You might want to get out more often. But I will tell you that I not only support this ordinance, there's a draft on the desk of my law director right now to address this very issue. So any development, any 20% of any new development with 5 or more units has to be affordable. So I look forward to presenting that for council approval.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next question is a 1-minute question. We'll start with Councilman Jackson. The city has used state tax credits to support projects such as Hinchliffe Stadium and housing for grandparents raising grandchildren. If Paterson were to get more state tax credits, which project or types of projects would you use them for? We'll start with Councilman Jackson. 1 minute.
So, the mayor is absolutely correct. The field house was renovated, but the cost was passed on to the residents, as opposed to encouraging the developer to do it. So, from my perspective, the moment we touch the ground, we'll take those tax credits, create a partnership between the housing authority, reclaiming the housing authority, and creating a partnership with the parking authority. And on the corner of Memorial and Market, we'll rebuild a facility that will be an all-encompassing facility that includes housing, parking, community policing, and recreation. We have to now take back control over what we're doing for public housing. We're allowing for third-party developers to come in here and run and manage the housing, and it's simply outpricing our residents. They're not treating the residents fairly, and they're definitely not doing anything that's going to encourage growth in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor.
Paterson residents did not fund the field house, federal dollars did, just for the record. If we do receive more state tax credits, I want to focus on affordable housing. We've had over 500 units developed in the last 7+ years, and I want to focus on even more. I want to focus on veterans who need affordable housing, senior citizens, there's definitely a need there as well. But I also want to point out parking. Tax credits should be earmarked for parking. There are 2 projects pending, one on McBride Avenue Extension and one on Ward Street. So we want to focus on increasing parking because that's been a problem, or should I say a challenge for many urban centers, not just Paterson, but also double down on our commitment to building even more affordable housing in the city of Paterson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you so very much for the question. I think that absolutely, I would definitely use those addition of those tax credit to build affordable housing, what I call very affordable housing for working family in this community. But I also will look into use those funding to have a ability to build a wraparound service for people, for homeless, for veteran homeless, for people homeless in general, people with addiction. That wraparound center, that building, I will look forward to utilize a building out of the city to put that project together. Paterson is the 3rd largest city in the state of New Jersey, and we don't have a warming center. The reason why we have a warming center is because somebody allowed us to use a basement at the end, at the border of the city of Paterson. Being Paterson the 3rd largest city in the state of New Jersey. Shame on this administration. I'm looking forward to use that building, to utilize that building as a warming center, a wraparound service to take care of homeless population and people with addiction, and that will be the best way to impact the community with those funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Our next question, another 1-minute question, and we'll start with Mayor Sayegh. In Paterson, the cost to rent an apartment is higher than ever, yet many residents have earnings well below the statewide average. Many have to spend more on rent than is considered reasonable. What is your plan to create new affordable housing within the city of Paterson, and what role do you believe nonprofits can play in creating affordable housing? 1 minute, Mayor Sayegh.
Nonprofits may play a major role in creating affordable housing. We'll give you 2 examples. NJCDC, St. Joseph's Health. We created affordable housing units for individuals with chronic medical conditions. So we're very proud of that because it's been hailed throughout the state as one of the most innovative affordable housing models ever created. And Habitat for Humanity, this past summer in June, we broke ground and announced that there will be a 300th Habitat for Humanity unit built here in the city of Paterson. To date, through community development, we've supported Habitat with over $2.8 million in home dollars and CDBG money for facility improvements. So I want to continue my commitment to nonprofits and developing affordable housing in our city.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you so very much. I truly believe that it's time to bring back and reinstate the housing authority power to bond, to start addressing the real housing issue that we have, and looking for those, getting those forming and partners with those non-for-profits to start building affordable housing. That's been a crisis in the city of Paterson. Being out there, and it's sad to see 2 and 3 families living in one apartment because they can't afford to pay high rent. And we got to think about what affordable means. Maybe the affordable $1,500 for one studio might be affordable for you, but might not be affordable for me. We got to look into those numbers. We got to look into this detail, and I'm looking forward to work with the Paterson Housing Authority, getting the power for bonding back and partnering with all of you with the non-for-profit to help us really address the housing need that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
Thank you. So, the non-for-profits that we're speaking about, you guys have been here for many years. Your contribution to the community is not something new. NJCDC, I've worked with, in collaboration with NJCDC for quite some time. Habitat has been here. The fact of the matter is we've allowed for the for-profit developers to take over and their commitment and burden on carrying the load for providing affordable housing. And the fact of the matter is, it's not their agenda to provide affordable housing. We dropped the ball on these $140 million in tax credits. Tax credits are supposed to return value back to your community. It's a matter of restarting the engine, residual income. It has not done that. Us continuously having partnerships and relationships with large-scale developers, not putting the focus where it needs to be, hiring a housing authority director that's going to have a commitment for restoring inventory. We've reduced inventory in 5 different locations by thousands. There's no way we can allow or ask for the nonprofits to burden that expense. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Our next question will start with Councilman Mendez. This is a 1-minute question. Parks and recreation are important to a thriving community. What will you do as mayor to better our network of parks and also to increase recreational opportunities for local residents? Start with Councilman Mendez, 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. One of the things that I'm planning to do immediately, first of all, speaking about investing in the community, the mayor utilized all the COVID money that we received just to fix park. And if you think about it, if you look at it, that money from COVID should be used to help those victims of COVID to reinvest in the community, to bring some sort of relief to the community, and that never has been done. But speaking about recreation, one of the things that I'm going to bring it back is the board, the recreational board. I'm going to utilize all the funding that we got, that we receive fees from those parks to make sure that we put it back into the field, back into recreational activity, back into after-school program for our youth, and mainly from the park. It's something that I'm looking forward to do in the community when it comes to the recreation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
This administration has placed its flag on the creation of parks, and although revitalizing parks is very important, parks without programming is pointless. You know, when I played here, we all grew up, people like myself, Zatini Moody, Kawisi Moody. We played on a Super team where it was a field full of rocks. But there were gentlemen that put programming in place, and the results of what they created had a residual effect for many, many years. People like my brother who went on to play at Ohio State, who owns a bank now. People like Kawisi Moody who went on to college, and his children are now playing at Harvard. So the impact that you have from programming far outweighs the money that you waste on just redoing parks without programming. This investment that we just recently made, it can't show any value of what I just talked about. No one is going to go to college because you have an empty park with no programming. So in order to incorporate our investment with parks, we have to have programming.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Mendez didn't do his homework. He's saying that we spent all the COVID dollars on improving parks. We actually paid our employees for their courage to come to work, so you should talk to some more employees. I would also point out that when I was a councilman, it broke my heart during public portion when parents would say, I have a child with special needs, and there are no playgrounds in this city to accommodate them. And here we are, using grant money, we have 10 inclusive playgrounds that accommodate children with special needs. The first grant that we wrote was the 10-minute walk campaign. Every child, every family should have a park or a recreational space within a 10-minute walk of his or her home. I'm proud to say that we've made an unprecedented investment in our parks. In fact, we created a nonprofit organization known as the Friends of Paterson Parks to double down, not use any federal or state money, but collect it through donations so we can continue to invest in our youth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next question is a 2-minute question, and we will start with Councilman Jackson. Other cities require developers to sign community benefit agreements, or CBAs, to ensure that developers give something back. And these funds often support parks and other community amenities. Are you in favor of mandatory CBAs for developers in Paterson? And if so, what would you dedicate the funds to? 2-minute question, we'll start with Councilman Jackson.
I don't think it's going to take much effort for me to answer that question. Many of you here watch council meetings. You've seen me banging my head on the table night in and night out, not only making a demand for the council to help me support the push on this, but I've shown how other communities like Jersey City, I've outlined how they've invested 25% of their projects on building new schools. We have not held one developer accountable on making a contribution back into our community. Every single developer, including those who paid zero for the acquisitions of their properties, like at Christopher Hope, where the developer walked away with a $24 million developer's fee, and there was no return back to the community. So absolutely. And maybe Councilman Mendez would not have gotten those numbers correct, if the mayor's office would be open and provide reports on what has happened with a lot of the spending. The fact of the matter is, yes, we've created parks, we've spent money, but we've overspent. Not one of you in here is going to send your child or your loved one to the store to buy a gallon of milk that they're going to pay $30 for. It just doesn't happen. We've overpaid for things, and we have not held those accountable who are leaving out with the best advantages. You have developers that are abusing our community, they're walking out with large-scale developers fees, then they're coming back and they're charging us 4 times the amount on construction costs that we should not be paying. We're making poor decisions, and we're not making sure that those who are benefiting the most are making a fair contribution back into our community. Not only do they not support projects like building new schools or possibly putting up some recreational sites, they don't even sponsor teams in our community. My daughters play softball, so we travel all around the state. And the largest developers who are making money in our community, they have signs on other communities' gates how they sponsor their programs.
Thank you, Council. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I would sign the CBA. And proceeds or whatever we reap would go back into the community. A recreation center. As a matter of fact, not too far from here, maybe a couple hundred feet, we're building a recreation center here in the city of Paterson. Also want to focus on our schools. We definitely need to build more schools in our city. And we've been pressing the SDA to get us more facilities because we clearly want to address overcrowding conditions because we have to focus on quality of instruction, not the quantity of the classroom as far as how many students are there as well. But I do want to say that I alluded to the Friends of Paterson Parks earlier. It's a nonprofit organization that we created. And a vast majority of the $1.3 million that we've raised to date has come from developers. Because we've told them, if you are going to make an investment and a profit, then you're going to have to reinvest in our community. And so that's what's helped us renovate some of our athletic fields. One developer just donated over $100,000 to build Paterson's first pickleball court at Eastside Park. And so we are asking these developers, without even having a CBA, through the Friends of Paterson Parks, put your money where your mouth is, let's invest in something that will have benefits for our community. So We would also focus on parking as well. Like I said before, we're going to drill down on that. Parking is something that is in need in our city and we must address.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you for the question. I truly believe that after 8 years in government, that I agreed to sign the CBS is too late. Actually, I think 8 years is way too long. This mayor gave the city away. We have developed, he never asked us to develop for anything. We have developed for their own good. They support baseball league and all the institutions and not-for-profit reach out to those developers. They voluntarily give out back to the community, not because the mayor set the structure of this. And that's going to be in my government, whoever works in the city, got to make sure that they impact the community with resources in a positive way. And one of the things that I'm going to use that money is to go back and revisit the master plan of the city that hasn't been revisited in over 10 years. I'm going to look into the master plan, work to address the traffic congestion that we have, and what we want to see in the city moving forward. So that master plan will be a clear picture of what's next in the city of Paterson. But that needs to happen under a new leadership, under a new mayor that will put the resident of Paterson first, a mayor that will work for the right project with all those non-for-profit to turn Paterson around the right way and impact the life of the people that live here. If you look around, all those projects, they haven't impacted the life of the resident in the city of Paterson. We build in parks, but how good is to have a nice park without safety when our family doesn't feel safe, when we cannot take our children to the park, not even to the corner store, without the fear of being shot. Let's talk about reality. We're not going to be able to impact the city of Paterson if we not change the leadership of the mayor's office and start holding people accountable in the city and work with the city council collectively, not using 5 votes at the city council to go with your agenda and thinking about what is good for you. That is the reason why we pay millions of dollars in law school because of the mayor and his administration. You need a real leadership in the city of Paterson to bring Paterson back to what it needs to be.
Thank you, Councilman. Our next question is a 2-minute question, and we'll start with Mayor Sayegh. What is your plan to address the quality of life challenges that so negatively impact community and economic development? How will you overcome the city's stigmas of crime, drugs, litter, and panhandling if the goal is to attract new businesses and new developments? 2-minute question, Mayor Sayegh.
Councilman Mendez made an allusion to me being in office in 8 years. Councilman, you've been a councilman for 12 years. You've never introduced legislation creating a CBA. Let the record reflect that. So as far as litter is concerned, we've been very aggressive with enforcement, with cameras throughout the city, and we've had participation from a number of residents who are obviously concerned about the quality of life in our city. And today, 25 people have been prosecuted for illegal dumping in our city, which amounts to over $100,000 in fines. And those are just the individuals who've been prosecuted. There are many more that are awaiting their court date as well. We've created a clean sweep program with our Deputy Director of the Department of Public Works, Michael Jackson. So we have a full crew that goes out every Friday. We go to a specific section. Tomorrow we'll be on Summer Street to make sure that we wipe it clean. We clean by example. We want everyone to follow our lead and keep it clean the way we left it. I also want to point out, through Clean Communities, we created a weekend program where we have employees go out and clean sections that may have been missed throughout the week as well. But we also want to address some of the challenges we face. When people are released from jail or prison, where do they go? Well, we have a reentry program. In fact, I'm proud to say the first mayor's office in the city, in the state of New Jersey, to have a reentry program is Paterson. We have a reintegration services coordinator. She's a Patersonian, Tamika Ruffin. She's helping people get their lives back on track, whether it's the housing that they need, whether it's gainful employment, or something as simple as an identification. We also created a community solutions program because far too many low-level, non-violent offenders get clogged up in the criminal justice system. And quite frankly, their ability to excel is impaired. So we have helped over 100 people who, maybe because they hadn't paid a parking ticket, couldn't get a job or were deep in debt. We're helping them get back on their feet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. We'll definitely question. Can you repeat the question? It's number 9?
Number 8.
Number 8? Okay, Listen, I start with public safety. I mean, public safety is the biggest challenge that we have in the city of Paterson. And obviously, when the state took over, the first thing that the mayor did is we went against the state and sued the state. That was the best thing that happened because under this administration, it was chaos after chaos with the administration. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to work with the state. I'm going to work with the leadership at the state level and our police department because we are spending around $8.5 million in overtime. What I'm planning to do, we could hire close to 100 police officers with that additional money. I'm going to work in partnership with the state. We're going to have more books on the ground. We're going to have safety in our community. We're going to be able to utilize those police officers to address those quality of life issues that are affecting the community every single day. We're not enforcing anything. This administration has not enforced any law in the book. Panhandling, people that come here, they could just panhandle it, they could move under the bridge. Just say, everything goes in Paterson because this administration has not enforced any law that we have in the book. I was the one that created the dumping legislation and increased the fine to up to $10,000 for people that are dumping. Paterson is a dumping ground. Look them out. The number that you see, I gotta see those numbers. The city council, we haven't received that information at all. You just speak about how many people they got. And you see people dumping everywhere. We approved $1 million for 80 cameras. You got people dumping right at the same side that we have. He's not holding nobody accountable for the job. I've been a very effective legislator, but enforcement is zero when it comes to that. Public safety will change the quality of life that has been going on with the city. We'll improve it, and I'm looking forward to work with the state. I mean, we need boots on the ground, we need police officers patrolling our neighborhood, and we can make that happen with those $8.5 million.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
Thank you. So the fact of the matter is, what we have an issue here is about leadership and decision making and standing. When Mayor Torres was the mayor and I came on as a council person, our budget was $225 million. Now it's $330 million, and this mayor is currently making a request to the state upwards of almost $80 million in transition aid. So when you talk about all of these supportive services and things of that nature, it's all about poor decision making. And Councilman, you was right there side by side. You were one of the 5 that the mayor had utilized for quite some time to make a lot of these poor decisions. So under my administration, we're gonna go in a whole completely new direction. We're gonna put the focus where it actually should be, and that's in our community, in our children. When you talk about juvenile delinquency, while the mayor and both councilmen are talking about increasing police presence and being tougher on crime, just campaigning the last several weeks, you come to realize how vast Paterson is. Putting up signs, 80 cameras, do you know what that is? That's the needle in a haystack. To spend millions of dollars on 80 cameras. We could have spent $500,000 and bought thousands of dashboard cameras. Armed our residents with a dashboard camera and let them report dumpers, allow them to receive 50% of the reward. I introduced that. None of the council members would support it. The administration was against it, and now all of a sudden the mayor's been talking about we're going to allow the community to help and benefit from reporting a lot of this dumping. You have to get community buy-in. If you're going to continue to have enforcement and not provide the supportive services of the departments you have, the fact of the matter is, even within the tax office, Ms. Janine Gasson, she lost her life. We haven't replaced her and the 3 other people that we lost it. In DPW, there's tons of vacancies. We're spending more money, we've created less jobs, we have less people to do the work. Thank you.
How do you perceive those issues as they affect community and economic development? What role do you see the city agencies and local nonprofits playing in overcoming them? 1 minute, we'll start with Councilman Mendez.
Thank you. Recently, the city council introduced a legislation. It's called Paterson Bridge Program. I sit down with all those non-for-profit entities. It was part of this conversation. Black Lives Matter and all those grassroots entities to put a plan together to address the homeless situation, people with addiction. We created a plan, and we're gonna look for funding to implement that plan, including all those non-for-profits to help us take those people off the street. Homeless people, they're dealing with addiction, they're dealing with mental issues, and it's not about placing them into an apartment. We're gonna do transitional housing, but we're gonna need you. And I mentioned at the beginning of this forum that all of you you guys are the right partner for the city of Paterson to do the right thing for our residents. And that's what I'm looking to do, look into the CDBG funding to allocate funding to that program to bring all of us to the table to address the mental issue, the addiction issue, and start with the transitional housing for those people. And that will impact our city tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
The fact of the matter is, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Many of you have strategic plans and outlines within the scope of their businesses, your nonprofit organizations, and how to deal with it. The fact of the matter is, it's overwhelming. Every single community in the state of New Jersey is sending their issues and problems to Paterson. It's like a petri dish for the problem. And what are we doing? We're not supporting the services. We're not holding those other communities accountable. And you can just question some of the people. Hey, why do you come to Paterson? Well, it's easy for me to do this here. No one troubles me. No one holds me accountable. I can stand out in the middle of the street. We passed legislation that prohibited people from panhandling. It's never been enforced. It's never been enforced. So you have to have a level of accountability. You have to have enforcement, of course, but you also have to have those other stakeholders held accountable as well. If you're going to put someone on a bus from Ocean County and send them to Paterson, you should provide some resources to go along with it.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor.
I can't allow Councilman Mendez to continue to lie. He said earlier that there's been absolutely no enforcement relative to illegal dumping. And I just said that 25 people have been prosecuted and faced $100,000 in fines. So he wasn't paying attention, just like he wasn't paying attention to even know what question we were on. So pay attention, Councilman. But I will point out that we created a program called Real Fix. And we've helped over 800 people struggling with drug addiction get treatment. And that number continues to increase every week. So you know the need is real. But we also created the opioid response team. We worked with Eva's Village. And our focus was on Broadway, because Broadway clearly had so many challenges. If you drive down Broadway now, you will see the difference between 2022 and 2026. We've helped heal a number of people who were struggling with opioid disorder through our program.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our final question before closing statements, we'll start with Councilman Jackson. This is a 1-minute question. If a community is only as strong as its members, how do you propose to break down barriers across neighborhoods and ethnic groups to empower grassroots leadership among community residents that is citywide and focused on solving the shared challenges facing Paterson residents? 1-minute question, we'll start with Councilman Jackson.
Well, the first thing that I would do is encourage embracing a model that addresses all of the entire community in whole. You know, currently, we have more segregated practices in the community than we've ever had before. You know, when I grew up in Paterson, it was a welcoming situation where, we crossed barriers and learned, other people's ethnic backgrounds. And currently, over the last 8 years, it's been a segregated practice. So, again, from my background and my focus, I think is where the most trouble lies in our community. When you talk about only one segment of the population is being targeted when it comes to gun violence, the numbers are astronomical. So it's a focus on the youth, making sure that programming is in place, making sure that we put a focus on, some of the ills that certain populations, segments of our population have to deal with, and not allow for one side of the community to be targeted when it comes to support from this local government.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor.
Unfortunately, diversity, equity, and inclusion has come under attack. But I want everyone to look at my administration. We have made it a point to have a diverse, equitable, and inclusive administration. You can look at the members of my cabinet, my department heads, and it goes beyond that. Those individuals that we appoint to boards and commissions, they must reflect our population. And we're looking to empower more women and our youth so they can serve in these critical roles as well. And our police department better reflects our population. Our fire department better reflects our police department as well. And we're giving opportunities, because this is a city of second chances. We give opportunities for individuals who may have made a mistake in the past to work with us in the Department of Public Works. And so we are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in my administration, and it's manifested.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you so very much. And definitely before my question, the mayor has been bragging about this 25 people that they catch dumping. I just get a laugh about that. After I put the legislation, I give them teeth to make sure that they enforce it. He's bragging about the 25 people. We don't even see that. It's a shame that Paterson has been a dumping ground. There's hundreds of people dumping garbage in the city of Paterson. And for the last 6 months, he's been a cheerleader, jumping about 25 people that they catch dumping, please. The reason why Paterson is in the condition that it is because of the lack of enforcement. You hear that before. People feel comfortable here, panhandling, asking for money, going around our neighborhood at night, opening the cars. We don't feel safe in the city, and he's responsible for that. We need a strong leadership in the mayor's seat. We don't need a cheerleader no more. We having a cheerleader for the last 8 years. We've been having a cheerleader jumping around the city, and enough is enough. With that, based on that question, I'm planning to put more funding in the Paterson and the Youth Service Bureau. I'm planning to partnership with not-for-profit to bring mental health and leadership program to strengthen our community and coming together. Paterson is a great city, the most diverse city in the state of New Jersey, but we all need to come together under the right leadership to turn Paterson around. We cannot get it wrong this time.
Thank you, Councilman. For our final question, our closing statement, we'll start with Mayor Sayegh, and we'll have 2 minutes each. For your closing statement, please reflect on how your election as mayor will result in revitalized Paterson. Mayor Sayegh, 2 minutes.
Before I proceed with my closing statement, I got to point out the hypocrisy with Councilman Mendez. He's talking about a cheerleader in chief. For the last 2 years, you've been carrying my pom-poms, trying to move me out of the picture so you could take a selfie so you could post on Facebook. Listen, even Mr. Oliveris knows. Look at his Facebook page. Last 2 years, he's been standing side by side. Couldn't wait to get all the spotlight away from me, trying to take away the shine. You know it, and he never agrees with me. So this is historic. Get this moment on tape. So you were carrying my pom-poms for the last 2 years, but nevertheless, I'm proud to be a cheerleader in chief for the city of Paterson. I'm here to promote what is positive. I'm not running on a platform to point fingers. I'm running on a platform to bring out the best in Patersonians, those that have made an investment, those that want to be inspired, that want to be proud to be a Patersonian just like myself. We have reduced the number of abandoned properties by over 92%. We have resurfaced 176 roads, and this administration, working along with council members, we're finally going to repair River Street, which is better for residents and the merchants on that corridor as well. And we will be resurfacing 50 more this year. We're looking forward to that as well. But above everything, what you need in a leader in this city of Paterson is integrity. And I fought too hard to restore integrity to the mayor's office, and I am not going to allow us to go back to where we were. It's about professional integrity, it's about personal integrity, it's about voter integrity. So I've been proud these past 8 years to serve you with honesty, dignity, and above everything, integrity. Paterson is a work in progress. We've made progress because we've done some work. But we got more work to do because there's more progress being made in Paterson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you for the question, and I just clearly going to say that yes, I've been right next to you for the right reason. For all those roads that need to be resurfacing, I've been right next to you. For the River Street, I was council president, I've been next to you. But once we voted and give you the funding, you drop the ball because you don't have the leadership to get things done for the city. We hired an outside company to oversee those projects. I haven't seen that company in one this side. And do you know about that? You don't know about that. As a councilman, I don't take this personally. I'm here to make the right decision for Paterson. I'm here to approve what is good for Paterson. Once we pass the legislation in city council and we drop the ball to you, give the ball to you, you drop it because you don't have the leadership. I'm Paterson. I want you to just think about that. Think about all the millions of dollars in lawsuits that we've been getting because of this mayor. Just think about that. Think about the condition of the city, how filthy the city is, the crime in our community, the violence in our community. You can feel proud to say that you're a cheerleader, but we don't need a cheerleader. We need a mayor who's going to be able to work. You are the type of person that if somebody disagrees with you, you go after that person in all the different ways. You use all your resources to bring that person down. I'm not going to be that mayor. I'm the type of mayor that I could sit down with you. I will sit down with you whether we agree or disagree. I will work with you to make our city better. That's the type of leadership that we need in the city of Paterson. Somebody who's going to bring everybody together to do the right thing for Paterson. And this election is extremely important. I truly believe that 8 years is way too long, it's enough. Just go outside in Paterson and look at Paterson. Talk to the resident of our city. Look at the amount of taxes that we pay. Look at the condition of the city. Look at the rent. People are moving out of the city because they can't afford it anymore. We pay taxes and we're not getting nothing back in return. I'm here to work with every entity that is ready to put Paterson on the right track. Enough is enough. If you Google Paterson, as I mentioned in the beginning, Paterson is considered the worst city in Passaic County and one of the worst cities in the state of New Jersey. What are we looking for? I truly believe that 8 years is long enough for you to be giving the city away to your friends and not doing the right thing for Paterson. I am proud to say that I support all those resurfacing roads that need to be fixed. But you allow PSC&D and all different utilities to come here, open the road, and not fix it the way it's supposed to be because you don't have the leadership to get Paterson back on track. You need a strong leadership. You need a mayor that's going to care about the city, and that mayor is Alex Mendez. I'm 1A, and I want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve here and to be at this forum.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
So there's an old adage, just because you say something loud doesn't mean it's correct. And I'm glad of one thing the mayor did tonight. He saved me a little bit of time because outlining the fact that you were his cheerleader for the last 4 years is absolutely correct. But I'm not going to harp on that because although I do appreciate and I respect all of the work that you guys do, my focus really isn't about what the nonprofits do here. My focus is completely about my community, the children in my community, the families in my community. So as mayor, I'm going to be reclaiming the city of Paterson, restructuring how we do business in the city of Paterson, deprivatizing the city. We're not going to be hiring outsourcing road resurfacing contracts to pay contractors 4 and 5 times the amount. We're not going to be outsourcing our garbage collection any longer. We're going to bring those services in-house where we could pay our people fair and affordable wages. We currently have the lowest support base with our employees around the state. We get a director, which by the way, when the mayor touts his cabinet, I think maybe one of them are Paterson residents, which by code, they're required that everyone who works in the city is required to be a Paterson resident. So I'm going to put the focus back on the city, back on the residents, back on those people that are suffering, back on the people who are having the hardest times, the people who I'm getting calls from every single day because they're being evicted, because their apartments are not being taken care of. There's some of you in this room who I call often because I'm getting calls from your residents on the conditions of their living facilities. That's where the focus is going to be, where it's important. And stop spending money. This community, this city sees more than enough money to be able to substantiate a better situation for our residents. Over $1 billion that comes into our community, not including all of those grants that he speaks about and all of the tax credits that we speak about. But that money is being wasted, and we're going to stop that under a Mike Jackson administration. I appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.